Sunday. All right, we are going to start this morning with a song, Amazing Grace. It's on page 16, and Robin's going to cue up some music for us. We'll see if we can get through all three verses. See how that works.
It's just piano accompaniment, and it's 2 minutes and 11 seconds long, so I think we get through at least. What page is it on?
16. You can stand or sit, whatever you like. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a soul like me. I once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see. Grace that taught my heart to sing, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear, the hour I first believed. Dangers, toils, and snares I have already passed. 'Tis grace that brought me safe thus far to freedom that will last. All right. Good job, everybody. Okay. So here's our Sunday services being live streamed. Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah.
And you can support us on the Unity Ministry by donating at PayPal at the email up above there, and click on the donate button. And we thank you very much for all that you give. All right, so it's Friendship Sunday, potluck, yum, yum, yum. So join us downstairs after the service and share some wonderful eats and conversation. And there's always enough for everyone, so please come. And I have an announcement to make. Mr. Rick Cosgriff has written an article. He's an amazing writer. And I'm not big bias either, he just really is. He has been accepted for an article in the Unity magazine coming out May and June. So it is called Running with Myrtle, and it's quite a delightful article. His pen name is Gus Arthur, so now you know the secret. And it'll be online available in June. If you are not a subscriber, you won't be able to read the article, but they do post a main article and then one other article that they choose for to be online to be read, and they chose Rick's. So it is, and it is so wonderful. It's so fun. He's just amazing. Okay, enough that.
They can send it to Robin too, to put on.
Oh,
the
yes,
newsletter.
and he'll send it to Robin so she can put it in the newsletter. They did give us
Oh, that'd be
permission
awesome.
to do that. Because
That'd be awesome.
there's publicity laws that we had to follow. We couldn't do anything until they gave us the go-ahead. So, okay,
Perfect. Love it.
all right. So, March speakers is Reverend
Oops, I'm
Edee.
supposed to say April.
Pardon?
Oh.
Oh, hey, we're going backwards. Let's go forward. Let's spring. All right, this is April speakers. Today is Edie. She's going to talk about creativity. And on April 14th, Daniel Agnew will be here. Haven't seen her in a long time. And there's no services the 21st of April because the Spirit Fair is going on, Saturday and Sunday. And anyone who is a Unity Church member will not have to pay at the door. Isn't that fabulous?
On Sunday.
On Sunday, Yahoo. And there are posters downstairs, like there's one out here that you can look and find out information about it, the times and the cost. All right, so now we're gonna do the Unity song with David Friedman. This reminds me of when you're at home and you're trying to fix your fuses, you know, or see if your lights are on, electricity's back. One of you, so it really is helpful if you have another person. Every prayer is answered, every prayer is heard, every thought and feeling, every spoken word, what your soul has longed for, what your heart can feel, is already here, is already real. There is no one out there is no one else. You hold all the answers deep inside yourself. There's a voice that whispers, there's no you, no me, there's just one, there's just unity. One power, one presence, one light to lead the way, all loving, all knowing, that answers when you pray. When the world looks darkest and your eyes can't see, gather all your troubles, give them all to me. I am always with you, I will always be. I am one, I am unity. We are one, we are unity. Robin, I just wanted to question, will it be in our newsletter or on YouTube about the spirit?
It's in our newsletter.
Okay, with the information and stuff, because I realize people watching won't be able to go downstairs to see what the poster says.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's on our newsletter, and there's also a little blurb about it being free to members on Sunday.
Okay, great, thank you for doing
That was
that.
in last week and it'll be in this week.
Okay, last week and this week it's on our newsletter.
Okay.
So the daily word today is Sunday, April 7th, 2024, and it's called Divine Order. I see divine order expressing everywhere. I delight in the glorious colors, fragrances, and arrangement of plants in the garden. I celebrate the imagination and meticulous planning, and the diligent work that transformed a patch of ground, some seeds, water, and fertilizer into a beautiful, life-filled place. I recognize the role of divine order in the creation of this garden, expressing through everyone who worked to bring it into being. It began as an idea in divine mind. Someone received the idea, cooperating minds developed a plan, willing hands prepared soil, planted seeds, then watered and tended the growing plants. My spiritual vision perceives divine order, the eternal dance of mind, idea and manifestation, expressing everywhere. I see that in each of you. You guys are each a garden that's growing as we speak. Genesis 1:31. God saw everything that he had made, and indeed it was very good. And there was evening, and there was morning, the sixth day. Oh, that's great for spring, huh? Okay, now we will have our Unity Foundation principle. If you care to join me. There is one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God, the good, omnipotent. And also Unity of Billings affirmation. Through divine wisdom and grace, Unity of Billings is vibrant, healing, and inclusive. Now it's time for our love offerings. I'll light the love offering candle here of unity, which resembles and stands for the light that shines in each and every one of us. So, may this light shine within us and radiate to each and every person that we see, place, and thing throughout our travels today, throughout the city of Montana, Billings, and Montana, United States, our world, and to the universe, and bring in the light to each and every person and soul existing. Amen. Okay, special music. Oh, we can, okay, love offering, divine love, flowing through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and I am grateful. give thanks for each and every offering of love that has taken place today at this time. We know that it will bless all that it is to be blessed with divine order. We give thanks. Amen. Okay, now it's time for our speaker, Edie. Speaking on creativity today. Thank you.
Just put it in this one, it's easier that way. All
Good morning.
Good morning.
Is it spring yet?
The flowers think so.
And I was like, surprise, more snow.
Big snow.
Big snow, big moisture.
Big water.
The birds were singing and they were out there taking baths in all that water and melting snow at the ranch, so. I hear the birds are singing and I know for sure winter is behind us. And the birds are being creative, they're building nests, and they're divinely guided, aren't they? It's a wonderful thought. So spring is a great time to experience creativity as nature is creating. All her glories, Mother Nature, her flowers, the trees, all the land and animals coming to life. And at my house, we have black cows next door, so we have black calves racing around in the morning. Stella gets to racing and the calves get to racing, so the horse and the cattle are all running around together. I look out there and I go, well, I guess they're all exercising. But this time of year is a great time to start grounding. I will admit, I do ground walking barefoot in the snow. I do, for a very short time. But it's a good idea to start thinking, how much am I grounding? How much am I connecting with nature? Because nature gives us that health from the earth. And creativity equals health. Our heart songs all have equal space for creativity. All of us have equal space. All we need to do is learn to listen for this call. Then we can experience how much creativity and health impact one another. And our lives can become balanced. Ernest Holmes, he was the founder of the religious science of mind, which is now called Centers for Spiritual Living. But my mother was a student of Ernest Holmes. She got to go to the Founders Church in Los Angeles. Lucky mom. You just see her walking through Hollywood in 1942. She's going to art school, she's getting her hair done, that weird curl in the front. Mother in the 40s. But Ernest Holmes said to be spiritual is to create. And here's a few ideals from Creative Thought, which was their little Science of Mind magazine. God, infinite spirit, is always creating. Spirit is absolute perfection, and all of Spirit's creations are perfect. All of Spirit's creations are perfect. That means you're all perfect too. Isn't it great to feel perfect? Look at yourself in the mirror every morning. Pull up your face. I feel perfect today. I've been studying some health and wellness articles by Dr. Laura Conover. And she writes in the Mary Jane's Farm magazine. Have any of you seen Mary Jane's Farm? There's one. I guess I'll have to bring some of my old copies and share them with you. I have to say it's the one magazine that when it arrives, I'm like, oh yes, love Mary Jane's Farm. That's why I call my ranch the Country Charm Pony Farm. It's just inspired by Mary Jane's Farm. But Dr. Laura Conover writes an article every month, and she's pretty groovy. She's a medical doctor, but she's into all the other stuff, which I love saying, all the other stuff. Her medical studies of the effect of creativity on our bodies and our overall health are very interesting to read. So Dr. Laura wrote, creating is healing. To create in any form is to create health. The very act of creating allows health to flow. There is no division between the two. No need to figure out a way to interconnect them. They are one and the same. They're the same energy flow. So, Dr. Laura encourages people to create. Create anything. Cooking, painting, sewing, gardening, anything artistic has healing power. Healing power that flows naturally. Go ahead and take those art classes. Or make a stick man. I used to say, it's easy to do art. Make a stick man and you just keep adding layers. Clothes, whatever. Follow a new dream. Ernest Holmes also wrote, to be spiritual is to create. But I like to turn it around. To be creative is to be spiritual. Why not? Little smiley face there. We create our world by daydreaming. This is some of the work with Julia Cameron's The Vein of Gold. She said, we create our world by daydreaming. Our dreams create our natural connection with higher mind. And our daydreams create what we call a mental equivalent. And that's a fabulous word. A mental equivalent would be something Ernest Holmes would talk about. They're words that not only contain information, but it also creates the mental energy to manifest. So a mental equivalent is created, we love this word created, when you hold a daydream. And you remember, maybe make a little note to yourself on the mirror, give you something to do while you brush your teeth. Left-handed. I'm getting really good at it. Every day you have this little bumper sticker that says, remember to act as if it's already done. Daydreaming and being in the moment. You're like, I'm in Spain, I'm in Ireland. You know, I can smell the fresh air, I can see the horses galloping on the beach. Daydreaming is vital to creativity. So what you dream about, you will bring about. Our brain waves are the creator. They attract what we think. So my mother would always say, be careful what you think about. But we create mental equivalents by using the as-if principle and remembering that thoughts are things, acting as if it was already manifested. That creates brain waves to attract. You are magnetic. Whatever you're thinking about, you're going to draw it to you. We can daydream about how it would feel, smell, hear, or taste to live your dream. You manifest the deepest dreams of your heart. So acting as if it was already manifested, you already get that happy feeling. It already comes to you. Write in your journal, my greatest daydream would be to, and I have a blank question mark. I have reread some of my old journals, and I found some things I had written many years ago. As I had been doing the artist way. My mother had the book in 1992. She gave me a copy and it changed my life. One of the things Julia Cameron wrote about in the artist way is describe your ideal environment. What would you like to see when you look out your window? And I said, I wrote, I want to see grass and trees and horses eating the grass. And I want a river, and I want mountains. And that's where my heart said, then you're going to Montana, aren't you? Yep. A few visits convinced me that I was going to move here. But Mother gave everyone a copy of Artist Way in 1992. And it's a must buy, so you can scribble notes all over it and underline parts that strike a chord. Julia Cameron is also a student of Ernest Holmes. I don't know if many of you know that. Yes. And she actually has a book of metaphysical prayers written a lot like a creative thought. So, heart steps. So in her book, The Artist Way, I was writing all these wonderful little aha moments on the side. And it's life-changing, it's delightful. I'd written in the margins, paraphrasing something Julia had written. Busy, busy, busy. The fires of our buried dreams smolder in our very souls. It takes courage to empty our space and clear our calendars to a void of nothingness. We're clearing our calendars to a void of nothingness, only to realize our true selves come creeping into view, like the shy barn cat that one day rubs against our ankles. Joy used to just run when she saw me. Now she runs towards me. Big change in the barn cat. Our buried dreams grow in strength and reach for the sun of our future best yet to be. And my dream was to move to Montana. I'm always thinking of these bumper stickers I'd like to have. Maybe one day we'll start creating some bumper stickers or t-shirts, but one of my favorite sayings these days is, art is medicine. When I paint my pictures, I'm painting them for the person that'll end up with them. I'm making a medicine statement on paper, on canvas. So art is medicine. It's my heart and soul being put into my art, and the person that ends up with that piece, they can look at that all the time and get that blessing I put into it. But when you are immersed in the physical act of creating something, expressing yourself in any way, you're allowing life's energy to flow into you and through you. This life force energy, for any of you that haven't been catching up on my Sanskrit classes, is called prana. Prana. Pranayama is a discipline of breathing a certain way to bring this life force energy into you. And the prana shakti is a holy, sacred energy of God. And this energy flow is crucial to the health of your body, and it accelerates healing. I wrote, yay, little finger. You cannot suppress your creative life force and then expect health to pour into your body and into your life. Cannot be suppressed. I also love reading Louise Hay. She was one of my mother's buddies back in the day. Louise Hay speaks of healing your life and body with creative mind affirmations. All is well in my world, end quotes here. It's one of my favorites from Louise Hay. I'm talking to myself when I'm driving in the slush yesterday. All is well in my world. I had to find a place to pull over and actually clear the pile of slush that built up on my windshield wipers were removing it, but pretty soon it was building up around it. The windshield wipers were getting, it was a very interesting experience. Ariana and I had our interesting driving in the slush yesterday to meet up at a predestined place. We were going to get there no matter what. But if you're stifling your own unique way of creativity, if you're stifling your creativity, then you're also stifling your ability to heal. That's the good news. We don't have to stifle our creativity. Do not suppress your life force. It wants to flow into you and then continue to flow outwards as creative force, as beauty, as peace, and as love. Creative forces and healing energy are the same energy. Sometimes I just like to say the word yes. Yes, yes. No matter what it is, I just keep saying yes. I might say to cats, yes, walking around the house. Because it's like, what better word is there than yes? Yes, I agree. The brain waves that are created while we paint, draw, write, make a hobby project, cook, garden, decorate, or even make holiday plans are the very same brain waves that heal us and keep us healthy. The God channel, I've talked about this before. Mother's way of expressing her idea of the God channel. It's a brain wave that's in a flow. Animals like you better when you're in this flow. It's easier to absorb everything around you, the good, the bad, the ugly. And we have a filter and only the God channel comes in. We tune in, the static is gone. brain waves, and it's a soft motion. If I ever feel like I'm getting frazzled, I can just do this with my hand and bring myself right back to this, that ah moment. Better than an aha moment. Creating is life, and being alive is to create. And all you have to do is sit and breathe, and you are creating. You might be, and what does it say? Oh yes, because no one ever will be another being exactly like you, living in this exact moment of time and breathing this exact breath of air. The very act of being alive is creating something new and irreplaceable. And you can take this idea even further, because the more you create, the more of this positive energy you draw through you. In other words, the signals keeps coming in clearer and clearer. Creating something more out of the moment will draw more life to you and consequently more health. An affirmation I have loved is this from Ernest Holmes' Creative Thought magazine, 2007. God, infinite spirit, is always creating. It is absolute perfection, and all of God's creations are essentially perfect. That means you're perfect, and that means you get to say to yourself, oh, I'm perfect today. I'm perfect every day. And you can look yourself in the mirror. It's okay to give yourself that little pat, self-approval. As God is the source of my being, I am one with its creations and spiritually perfect. And that's a very strong affirmative prayer for going forward in faith. We grow forward. I guess we made a joke the other day. We said something about praying it forward instead of paying it forward. I was explaining metaphysical and positive affirmative prayer to someone who was kind of new to the idea. It's called praying it forward. We're already thanking God for the thing that we know we have manifested. We're acting as if it's already arrived. So we acknowledge our essential goodness and consciously choose to live up to our infinite possibilities of living a creative life. We turn away from distractions and we focus on the healing, creative attributes of God, of spirit, that we can claim for our own. And in this moment of light and clarity, we know that being spiritual is really being creative, and we tune into higher mind and claim peace, harmony, health, and love as our own. We claim God's abundance, and we claim expansion of our consciousness. We nurture our daydreams and see them as the seeds that they are. It's really fun to make a big daydream and think to yourself, would I ever really do that? Would I go to Scotland? Me yesterday was just, will I drive to the West End in this? And I believed the weatherman when he said, it's going to be 38 degrees, so no matter how much water, snow, and everything we've got, it won't be slippery ice. So I had the faith to go. I had faith in my weatherman. But we nurture our daydreams and see them as the seeds that they are. And it's okay to make up some big outrageous idea and see if it actually comes true. Me dropping my entire life at 42 and moving here. It took me 2 years to get rid of basically everything I owned. So I came up with not a heavy load. It was another adventure, a radical sabbatical. I told everybody, I'm just going to retire now and I'll go back to work when I'm in my 60s. So I had a 20-year gap in there where I enjoyed my retirement. Now I'm working again. We tune into spirit as our source and we claim peace. And we claim our creative energy as our healing. And the best thing about creating for health is that one form of creativity is not better or superior than another. Being a painter or an author or a poet is no more healthy than creating a great meal, decorating a room, or even gardening. All work can be creative. Now I'm writing all of this with either kind of a messed up right hand, I don't wanna say it messed up, an opportunity for learning to be left-handed. A lot of my writing lately has been left-handed, and I even painted a few pictures left-handed. I thought to myself, this is a great opportunity and in a way, kind of a cosmic joke. I'm trying to see the humor in all this. Putting on my makeup left-handed. Everything. Being a painter, an author, or a poet is no more healthy than creating a great meal, decorating a room, or even gardening. All of our work can be creative. We can take a creative spirit into even the tasks that at times seem like drudgery or work. We can be creative. And all work can be meaningful. All actions and all activities can draw forth healing. Creativity does not need to be related to capital A, art. Art is only one small avenue of creative expression. It is great to learn new and varied ways to create and not just stick with your usual art form. To create is to make something new where there wasn't anything before. So we're just make a lot of empty space in your life and then start adding in these beautiful things that you're choosing to express. From the meal you're making, to the song you're singing, to the thought you're thinking, to the words you are speaking, all actions are creative, and creations can be healing. So you start really paying attention to the words you say and the thoughts you think, because they have a vibration attached to them. It affects your brain, your body, your life, your expectations. Everything you say affects your future. Oh, wow, that's a lot of responsibility. But in a way, it's kind of neat, because it's like, yeah, I can go on vacation. I can go see this or do that. We can be natural, and we can be spontaneous, and we can be fearless. Creative energies have infinite ways to realign our bodies, minds, and spirits. Being in the flow of nature's creative energy is a great mission and a great goal to set. Get out in it, barefoot in the grass or the snow today, grounding with the earth. You know, we're so blessed to have these beautiful mountains as the back splash, of Billings. And one of our dear friends, Wendy, that we know that comes down from Red Lodge sometimes, I didn't know she's a ski instructor. So she kind of calls me, we do a little bit of spiritual work together every morning as she drives to her job, teaching skiing to all these cute kids that show up in a bus. But now when I look across the city and I see the ski runs coming down, I think of Wendy up there flying along. She might go take a fast run by herself just for fun in the morning. I had no idea she could ski like that. She's out there grounding with Mother Nature in the snow. But you can't sit boxed in at work all day doing the same thing over and over and still expect your life to be vibrant. Sometimes we fall into a routine, and it's kind of a mindless routine, and we can't sit there and live like that and expect to feel vibrant. Each cell of our body has a complex, beautiful cascade of pathways that all dance with each other in intricate relationships. We need to feed this part of our bodies. The way our bodies work is a creative dream of God's genius. I mean, we are just incredible. The x-rays and how our hands work. I mean, it's just amazing how the human body is connected to the brain and how we can move and be. We are creative works of God's genius. And beautiful Dr. Laura wrote a little bit more in the Mary Jane's magazine. One thing we should know is that we have unlimited potential. Oh, by the way, did I tell you today you have unlimited potential? Did you know you're unlimited? We are all unlimited. And Dr. Laura wrote out 6 ways to get more into the creative flow. Number 1, she said, focus on the process and not the outcome. So if it sounds like fun, do it. Move to music. First thing I do every morning with my first cup of coffee is to put on my favorite music And even dance or sing or exercise with it as cats go flying around, thunder paws, Thank, thank you, Lord, I only have 3 in the house. 2 in the barn. Lately, I've been turning on some 50s music. I mean, maybe some bebop, doo-wop, or whatever, but you know, you sing with that and you dance with it, and your heart jumps up. And I remember being 10 years old, getting ready for church with Mom, waiting. Girls, we leave at 9 o'clock. Dr. Laura says drink lots and lots of water, and I need to keep working on this too. She says it's good to swim if possible, or you just enjoy a deep bath or have your own personal spa day. It does help, just kind of expands your consciousness, expands your aura. Number 5, meditate. Practice silence so you can hear your inner voice. And she did say here, breathing in, affirm, I am filled with creativity. And breathing out, she said, affirm, I'm full of health and peace. Let's do a little bit of this breathing with affirmations for a few moments. You may want to sit up straight more in your yoga posture. And you can affirm with me, breathing in, I am full of health and peace. And breathing out, I am filled with creativity. Breathing in, I am full of health and peace. And exhaling, I am filled with creativity. I am full of health and peace. And I am filled with creativity. And number 6 on Dr. Laura's list of ways to get in the creative flow, focus on fun. If it sounds like fun, do it. This is a good time for all of us to start using all of this wisdom that we have gathered over our lifetime. Some of us have had a few longer lifetimes to gather more wisdom with. But there's also a great wisdom that comes with our youth. You start gaining this wisdom and mixing it up with your unlimited potential, and you will remember to breathe deeply and to walk out in nature more often. And you will nurture yourself daily, hourly, momently, every second. You're nurturing yourself. And you will feel a newfound joy, and we will unleash it and let it run wild. And I did not know that there was a puppy coming today. There's a puppy on the back row, and it has a leash on. I wrote this a few days ago. We find a newfound joy, and we unleash it and let it run wild. So I guess something in me knew there was a puppy coming to church today. We stop repressing ourselves. We stop trying to change ourselves to please other people. Just please yourself, because that's pleasing God. You're God's creation. You stop repressing yourself and you try new things that sound like fun. Try new clothes, new colors, new paths. Julia Cameron's book, The Artist Way, is about getting going with the creative life, and it's about getting unblocked. She wrote the book while she was teaching classes in New York about getting unblocked. Julia Cameron was a writer. She wrote episodes for television shows, including Miami Vice. She was married to Martin Scorsese for a while. She has a daughter with him. Julia Cameron. She probably was one of the greatest changes in my life reading all of her stuff. And it resonated with me because it was on Creative Mind, a lot of Ernest Holmes' original teachings. But she was teaching classes about how to get unblocked and stay in the creative flow in New York. And her friend said, why don't you make a book out of this? So she had started teaching these classes maybe in the 80s. So by 92, the first edition of Artist Way was printed. She was get unblocked and have courage to ride the wild river of the creative forces. I recommend everyone to buy a hard copy of her book and read it. Life-changing information will fall off the pages into your life. I was gonna say laugh, but the word life came out. Life-changing information will fall off the pages into your life. I mean, that's how I ended up in Montana. It's like, dream a big dream and then have the courage to follow through. Have a copy of her book as we aim for possible discussion groups someday around Julie Cameron's material. Another great book of hers is called The Vein of Gold, another fantastic book. Treasures of wisdom, treasures of fun, and just pure fun. And speaking of fun, Ariane is helping me. We are going to put on a cute little horsey thing next Saturday, and it's a benefit for Johnny Jankowski's Angel Horses. So I'm donating all of myself and my services and all of the income to help Johnny with her rescue horses. She's got 2 new horses she just rescued from Amish in Pennsylvania, and they're at her place now, surviving. So we went yesterday in the snow and met with Tom, who lives at Angel Horses, and he said, I don't think it's a good day to paint. I said, I agree, but it's a good day to spread all the stuff out so it'll be dry the day we come back. So we did notice that the jumps were stored under the only hole in the ceiling where water was dripping on them. So I'm glad we went yesterday so we were able to spread them out so they would dry. But you're all invited to come next Saturday. It's just beautiful Angel Horses on 56th Street on the west end. And you'll get to see lots of cute kids and cute horses, and we'll all be there. I'll be behind the microphone, as usual. In closing today, I'd like to paraphrase more of Ernest Holmes' writing. Out of my God-sourced, joyful thoughts, and all of our thoughts are God-sourced and joyful, aren't they? I'll catch myself once in a while. Don't do that. Could have had a V8. I could have had a positive thought. You catch yourself. Out of my God-sourced joyful thoughts, I express myself as a more loving person. I'm radiating love, joy, and peace everywhere I go. I attract good friends and loving relationships. And since our spirituality is unceasing and unlimited, we are always creating. We can resolve to stay focused on God and on God's good. We are filled with gratitude for our natural gifts. Stand for the benediction. The reason I say stand for the benediction is because going to church in the 50s and the 60s and the 70s, with my mother, she was always wearing this big robe, and she'd stand up there and put her arms up with the, big sleeves. But she would give everyone a blessing. So I think a benediction is like an overall blessing for you all. And I like to be metaphysical with this, as I say, right here, right now, we claim our perfection. We claim our health, our joy, and our peace. And we claim our fun. Let's have some fun. We claim our creative paths and we follow them boldly. Let's spring into spring with joy. We are filled with the joy of our ever-expanding understanding of God's perfect creation, you and me. Namaste.
Right, so it is with great pleasure. Yes, that we, the membership celebration for our newest members, Elizabeth Wallace and Rick Wallace. Charlene.
Friends, we are here to witness the spiritual induction of Elizabeth Wallace and Rick Wallace.
into membership of Unity of Billings. We know too that the Christ consciousness is witness to this also. For as Jesus said in Matthew, where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, there am I in the midst of them. Matthew 1:8-20. Elizabeth and Rick, you have expressed a desire, and would you come up, please? So, Elizabeth and Rick, you have expressed a desire to become members of Unity of Billings. The only requirement for membership in Unity of Billings, other than the study of Unity, which you have done, I am sure, because they are transferring their membership to Unity, is a desire to know God and to understand Unity's emphasis to earnestly seek the truth. We in Unity work together to help one another to join our prayers, our thoughts, and our spiritual powers in order to enrich our lives and to bless all the people in the world. We know that the church is not a building, not a place, but a state of consciousness that lives within us. You are the church. It is your consciousness that makes the church, every one of us. And now, Unity of Billings, as Unity of Billings prayer chaplain, it is my privilege, on behalf of its memberships, to welcome both of you into full and active membership of this church's congregation, and extending you the right hand of fellowship. And Linda now will give you each your membership certificate. Bless you.
One more hand. And Rick, such a pleasure. So happy to welcome you to Unity of Billings. Anthony, will you join us up here for just a minute, please? And we're so happy we get Anthony too.
And so now we're going to extend the Unity blessing, and we hold up our hands, and I'll read it once through, and then we can say it together. We love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ in you. So, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ in you. So,
I think we're up here. Are we doing the circle first? Yeah.
Now, if we'll join hands, and we'll do our prayer circle and our peace song.